Hey Sainers, welcome back to the Saints TV YouTube channel. Hope you're all having a great week so far. Training. We've got some more training news. We've got some more training footage. Thanks to everyone again for helping me put these videos together, and thanks to all of you for enjoying them. If you enjoy them and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe and you'll get notified on all future training videos, as well as all the videos ready to come out in 2023 on Saints TV. So today there was some match simulation at RSCA Park, which is great. It's kind of really the first, I guess, serious match simulation they've had this pre-season. There were umpires in attendance. Lee Fisher, the umpire, was there, and we've got some notes on match simulation. Obviously, earlier in the day, they did do their general warm-up. They did break up into their line groups and operated there. But then for the majority of the day, they had 15-minute quarters in match simulation, breaking into two teams. So we've got some notes on that. So let's get straight into it. For me, I guess some of the main takeouts from what everyone's been saying, what I've seen with the footage, is that out of the back line, Dougal Howard was quite commanding. He played a bit more aggressive than we've seen in the last couple of years and pushed up the ground a lot. But when he pushed up the ground, Josh Battle dropped back. So there was always cover when a tall went up the ground, which I thought was great. The only main concern, and I don't think we have footage of this, is that on the kick-ins, it was the same structure. Dukes would get it. He'd look around for a while. There were players that were short. He would ignore that, and then he'd go long to a pack. And most of the time, that's where the ball was then turned over, and it was kicked straight back in, turnover, and the opposition had a shot on goal. So that kind of gave me flashbacks of what we've done over the last couple of years with Dukes kicking it out. Nothing against Dukes, but I just didn't like that they didn't trial any other players kicking out from the points. It was very much Dougal Howard, and again, very similar style in the way that we tried to move the ball out of the back line. So that was a little bit of a worry. Mitch Owens, his physicality is an absolute standout. He really bullies his way through packs, puts his head down and gets the pill. He's got a lot of speed, so he's able to get to contest, which I think is a big advantage over some players. And I think we've got some footage. There was a passage of play where he just kept willing the ball forward from contest to contest, handball, just kept getting it forward to the point where the team that he was on got in a position where they could kick a goal, and they did. Very vocal across the ground, which was great because I think we've been generally quite a quiet team. And it was so vocal that there was a passage of play early on where out of the back line, the players were just kind of chipping it around. I think some of the boys got really frustrated at this, so they kind of just said, stop playing for possessions and go through the effing guts, you know? So a lot of the teammates seemed quite frustrated with how conservative some of the boys were. So I think some boys are willing to go for the guts and go straight through the middle, and then other players are still kind of getting used to that sort of game plan and stuck in their own ways and chipping it around, going sideways, going through the wings and playing conservative football. And to be honest, for the majority of the match sim, it seemed like that. It seemed like they were going wide a lot more than they were going down the middle. So I think it's going to take a while for our boys to really back themselves with their skills to go through the guts. Overall skill level, I would have to say, wasn't great. There were a lot of turnovers, a lot of bombing. Still didn't seem like there was a huge directive on structure, and it was all just very much play on instinct and create some chaos football, which is what Ross has alluded to before. Just create situations where players needed to overcome that and operate, I guess, based on what they feel is right. Vitale was really good early. He was very lively. I thought got a lot of the ball and used it well, unlike a lot of players. And Brad Hill, again, was very, very busy around the ground. Made it look easy, the amount of grass that he was covering, just working up and down the wings. Looked really, really fit. Ross the Boss was very active compared to what I've seen in previous sessions where he's kind of just let the other coaches handle it. He was very much watching match simulation with a keen eye. In terms of who didn't take part in today's session, Nick Caulfield didn't, Connolly didn't, although they worked around the boundary doing a lot of jogging, a lot of small drills on the side. Hunter Clark wasn't there. Obviously King, Hayes, Marshall, Filippo, who I'll quickly talk about after this. Membry was in the pool. Allison, McKenzie, Connolly, as I mentioned, Campbell, Houghton, and Keeler. As with Filippo, as I alluded to, he did hobble off apparently earlier in that session, and he was spotted in the gym afterwards with a bit of ice on his calf. So we're going to keep an eye on that. I'm not sure if that was just precautionary, but there was strapping, there was ice on his leg, and you never want to see that with a player of his caliber that we want to turn into a superstar. So hopefully he's okay. Making up the numbers with all those absentees were quite a few Sandringham players wearing 30, 46, 48, 49, and 50 that you'll see hovering around in the footage. Hussain Wanganeen-Malira's kicking was a standout again. Some really good short stabbed passes to a player on a lead, but also he was able to look further and kick good 50, 55 metre darts off a couple of steps, and that opened up the play. A few passages resulted in goal-scoring chances because of the fact that he could take that kick. Windy wasn't at his cleanest, but he was very physical. Got to a lot of contests, very similar to Mitch Owens, just bullies his way through traffic, really backs himself at every opportunity, regardless of whether he's trying to tackle a Jack Steele or, you know, a new player on the list. He really doesn't care who he's up against. He really backs himself. The weather wasn't great. It rained quite a bit midway through the match simulation, which kind of turned it more into a wet weather, sort of contested stoppage style game. So we got a bit of open play at the start, a bit dry, and then towards the end it started raining. And to close off the session again, they did those jogs, 20-meter jogs, up and back, short break, and then continued to do that for another 4 or 5 minutes until they cooled off and finished up the session. So that was kind of the main take from match simulation today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It wasn't really the cleanest. It didn't really offer too much in terms of standouts, but it's another session done, a bit more competitive today. Hopefully in the next couple of weeks, they'll do a proper intra-club at RSCA leading up to the Pracky game against Melbourne, and then obviously against Essendon, the more official Pracky game. I think that's on the 3rd of March, as it's been announced. So I'm looking forward to those. But yeah, that's today's session. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please like the video, please comment your thoughts, and most importantly, as I've mentioned, subscribe. Let's get to 10K in 2023. It'd be amazing if we could, and I'll keep you guys updated on any future training videos and any other Saints news in the coming weeks. So until then, Sainers, take care of yourselves, enjoy the rest of your week, and as always, go you mighty Sainers. See you guys.